Hey guys, we are back. So we went ahead and cleared all the biters out. This is now definitively our territory. Look at all these big biter bases, though. We're gonna eventually have artillery wagons, the railroad wagons that shoot artillery rounds. We'll be able to push all of this back and things like that. We'll make a big loop and have them shoot and stuff like that. We're doing all right for now. They're coming in, they're attacking our fences, but they're not too bad. Part of why they're not too bad is we are not mining this yet, so there's not any pollution here to speak of. Now, over here where our main base is, different story entirely. You know, we're pissing off a lot of biters. What we may at some point do is, even though we don't need the territory and the resources that are in it right now, we may do a cloud push. We may go out here and we may push them back as far as we can to the edges of our cloud, just to cut down on the attacks, because we're getting a lot of attacks, and right now we have to physically go and repair our walls and stuff, because we don't have bots yet. We'll get to all of that. But anyway, point being, we are cleared out here. I have widened this so that we can put trains in. What we want to do today is we're going to run trains to and from our uranium patch so that we can bring in sulfuric acid and bring out uranium, and we are probably going to run a train to our coal patch and start picking this coal up and taking it back home for our own use, because the biters aren't using it, they're just sitting on it. So you know, we need to make use of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on this uranium patch. Now, here's one thing. I think I got one. There we go. To notice with this, on a regular patch, this is red because there's no ore under. But you see the shape of this miner. It just takes electricity and it'll mine and throw stuff out. What we got going on here? Oh yeah, we're gonna see. This is what I'm saying. We're gonna have to go up and repair some of these guys here soon. We're getting a lot of attacks, probably from this base right here and these two bases, two or three here, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Right now we want to do this. We got enough there. But anyway, here's the deal. So on a normal patch, that's what the thing looks like. If we go over here, see those are different? It's the same miner, only when we get onto a uranium patch, one of the things it requires is it requires sulfuric acid in order to mine uranium. So these miners, when you put them on these patches, they get pipes on them. Now you see there's pipes on three sides. There's the gazeta where the ore comes out. All three of the other sides are gazintas, and we can hook pipes up, and they're interconnectable. So if we sit them side by side, this chain is now completely connected. So what I started to do is to go down here, and we've hooked up the bottom side of all these stacks. So now if we bring in sulfuric acid and we put it in this pipe, it's going to feed all of these miners. And they don't take a ton, but they need sulfuric acid. So we're going to have to bring sulfuric acid in, excuse me, in order to bring our uranium out. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our train in. So we're going to lay it on our tracks, and there's a gap in the cliffs here. We're going to use that, and we're going to bring our train in. Now, there are a number of different ways to do this. There's lots of right ways and there's lots of wrong ways. I am not an expert. This is the way I do it. Everybody has their own way of doing it. If it works, it's not wrong. It could potentially be more efficient, but if it works, it's not wrong. What I mean by that is kind of give you a little bit of background story, you know, getting the Wayback Machine here for a second. Back in my other life when I was in the Army, I had two different jobs. My first job in the Army, and they killed a wall. Killed a couple walls. We're going to have to go over there and fix all of that. Alright, anyway. My first job in the Army, I did what's called metrology. It's test, measurement, diagnostic, repair stuff. Basically, anything that measures, you're making sure it measures right. So if it says a foot, it's exactly a foot. If it says it's a pound, it's exactly a pound. It all traceable back to National Bureau of Standards. And in that job, I had to do a lot. If it didn't measure properly, you made it measure properly. You adjusted it, you repaired it, what have you. Well, but being the modern army, a lot of electronic stuff. So, part of my job and part of my schooling was to go through and to learn electronics. Now, I grew up, my grandfather was a electrician in the Navy, and he's taught me stuff before I came in, and then I learned stuff in that school. And then halfway through my Army career, I changed jobs, and I became a power plant technician, power plant operator, and an instrumentation technician. And in order to do that, we had to go back to school, what have you, and learn all of that stuff. So I had a lot of learnings from my first job. A lot of electronic stuff and a lot of electrical stuff I already knew. But the schoolhouse for Prime Power, they had a way of teaching things, and it was their way, and that was, their methodology, and that was fine. But I ended up, because of my knowledge in the past, being able to kind of jump over some of that stuff. And when you're doing the calculations and things like that, in that school, they wanted you to write everything down. So every step you made, every mathematics step you made, you had to write it down. Well, a lot of this stuff I was able to do in my head, just knowing from doing it. So I would get papers back all the time that would have a lower than expected grade, and it would have, on the questions, it would have RBW. And RBW stood for right but wrong, because I would do it and I'd have the right answer, but I wouldn't show my math, and so I would get the question wrong because I didn't show my math. And it took me a while to wrap my head around it and say, okay, fine, even though I'm doing it in my head and it's just easy, I'll go ahead and show my math. So even though I was doing it and getting the right answer, I wasn't doing it their way. I wasn't doing it the quote-unquote right way. So I was doing it the RBW way. Same thing with Factorio. There's a lot of ways to do this stuff. Some of them are right according to some people. Some of them are wrong according to some people. And if they work for you, they are right for you. So don't take anything I say as gospel either. So there you go. Me off my soapbox. All right, so if we put down a track, right, and we can put them down one track at a time, and we can use the R button to rotate our orientation, and we can go one track at a time and put them down. Or we can put a track down, hover over it, you get this little green arrow, and if I now hold and click on it, I can drag out, oops, didn't work, I don't have to hold, you just click on it. I can drag out my track, and wherever I put my thing, it'll put my bends in and this and that and the other. Now I like to do, it goes into track and it goes out of track. I don't like to keep things all on one track and try to make my trains go both ways on the same track. It's less track, what have you, takes up less space, I get that. It becomes a signaling nightmare and a timing nightmare, and it's just not something I want to deal with in general. For my long distance stuff especially, I have the room, make two directions. So I live in the US, so we're going to go, drive on the right hand side, or drive on the left hand side of the right hand road, right? So we're going to go ahead and make a loop is what I'm going to start with. And I'm just going to drag a loop out here. We got the space. And it's a little temperamental sometimes, maybe. So you just kind of got to play with it. Oh. And if you need to, you can. Whoa! There was a meteorite just went over top of us. Probably destroyed some of our poles. Yeah, there we go. So that's why we have redundancies. We get down here, fix our fence. Thank God for bots, right? Alright. That was a good one. And it doesn't really matter which end we take it from. You know, as long as we take it from an end. Either way, the trains will run on this, right? And they'll go roundy, roundy, roundy. Now, we need to make a spot for them to come out and drop off and pick up our stuff, and we need to make a spot for them to drop off our sulfuric acid. So we don't want them to drop and pick up right on the same spot, because if one train's here, then the other train can't come. We want 2 spots, one for each, so that we can have it, you know, drop off and pick up at the same time. So we're going to come back up here, and if we come up here, does it not like it? Oh, okay, because it's on there. Oh, duh, I have the wrong thing. I don't have tracks. Alright, so we can split this off, right? And we can bring a second one down and have it come over and do the same thing. And have it meet back up, right? So now it'll come in, and depending on whether it is going to pick up and drop off uranium, or it's going to pick up and drop off our sulfuric acid, it'll go either way. Okay. Now, if we really wanted to do this properly, we'd have both of these as a siding and have a third one to bypass it. And maybe we'll do that, just to be on the safe side. Maybe we'll have another one come and see if we can back this up a couple. Can we get this to... No. Sometimes you have to play with it. Or one off. Will it make it? Will it make it? I don't know if we're going to be able to make it. One more? No. Alright, maybe what we'll have to do is make it link up here. Alright, so why don't we do that, right? So then we can have... I don't think that's linked up. In fact, I know it's not. Son of a biscuit eater. It is not going to do it for us, is it? You SOB. Alright. We may revamp this at some point. Right now we've only got the 2 trains. We're only going to have 2 trains coming down here anyway. We'll play with this later. I don't want to take forever. So the point is, you can set this up, and the way I know these are connected is this little piece here went away. Yeah, they're really hammering us over here. We're gonna have to go over there and do in these bases again. We're gonna have to go over there anyway. we'll do that right quick in a little bit. So the train will come in, and it has to decide which one of these to go to. So it needs a train station. These are train stops. And depending on the side of the track you put them on. See, if I put them on that side, the train's going to go to the left. If I put them on this side, the train's going to go to the right. Like I say, I live in the U.S. So there we go. One there and one there. You can't put them on a curve. Alright, they have to be on a straight. They can't be on a diagonal. They have to be on a straight, either up and down or left and right. Alright? And when you put them down or you hold over them, they will mark on the track where the cars will stop when the train stops. So from that we can know where to set up our stuff. Now, I made this a little close because of the loop, so I don't have a lot of room for Gazinta and Gazata over here for chests and stuff. So I'm going to make this one my sulfuric acid. And I'm going to make this one my uranium. And you can go in here and you can click on this and we can change the color on it, same as we do with our characters and what have you. And we can change the name. And we'll change this one to Uranium 1 PU for pickup. Okay? So now that station is Uranium 1 pickup. Alright? And this one we're going to change to Uranium 1 drop off. We're not real imaginative here, but it works. And that will bring us in our sulfuric acid. So in order to get it off of the train, we need to have pumps, and we have pumps somewhere here. Alright, so we have pumps. So we have to set these up so that they will draw from the train. And you can put 3 of them. I think you can put only 3 of them would work. You can put 6 there, but only 3 of them at a time will work. I'll show you why. Here is a train car. Alright, let's say that is our train car. If we put a pump in, each pump is going to service one of these tanks, and you see the little connection on top. So, as a for instance, we'll just do this real quick. They're not going to pump anything because of the fact that there's nothing there to pump. See how they'll connect? And one connects to each of them. Even if we had 6 of them there, and you can fit 6, only 3 of them are going to connect. So there's no sense in putting more than just the 3. Alright? So we're going to have 1, 2, 3. Alright? And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Did we go to the first set? Yeah. And then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That one's weird. Alright, let's do something. 1, 2, 3. We want to make sure these line up correctly. Alright, so this one's not connecting. So, oops. Damn it. Right, so now they're going to all 3 pump, or all of them are going to pump out of the trains. Now, I typically do my trains 1-4 trains. 1 engine, excuse me, and 4 cars. Now, if that spacing's going to drive you nuts, and some people it will, I believe we can do, let's see if that works. Yeah, there we go. The other spacing would drive some people nuts. There's a lot of people that play this game who cry about OCD. And, you know, whatever. Alright, so now we're going to hook all of them together. right? And we don't want them waiting here forever. We want them to be able to fill and go about their business. So we have tanks somewhere. I thought we had tanks. Did we use up our tanks in the making of our trains? No, there are our tanks. Alright, so each of these tanks, or each of these cars will hold 25K. And each of these big tanks will hold 25K. Interestingly enough, when you make those, it uses one of these. So, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this off to the side, and we're going to set ourselves up a tank farm. 2, 3, 4. Right? And that's enough to hold one train. And then after that train drops its crap off, it'll go. Now the second train that comes, we're going to set it up. And we want to pump out of this, so we screwed this up. We're going to set a pump up to pump out of the tank. I don't know if we really need it, but we're going to set it up to do it. There we go. Okay. So now when the train empties out, it'll put it into these tanks, fill these tanks up, and then it'll go about its business. The second time it comes around, if these tanks are not empty, it will wait there. Well, because the way we set it up, the way we're going to set it up, it'll sit there and wait until that train is empty. Oops. So we'll essentially have 2 of these tank farms worth of sulfuric acid there at all times. So we should never be waiting on sulfuric acid here, because then this will give it enough time to build back up over at our refinery to come back here. Okay? So now we're going to have to load our uranium into our train. And since we're going to use that line as our uranium line, we are going to bring it over here on this side. And we're going to set up some chests. We can get these out of our way now. We'll put that all back together when the time comes. I thought I had... There they are. Steel chests. Now, same thing goes with our train, our cargo as goes with our train. So if we set up our engine, yay, we built a locomotive and getting on track. Right, so there's our 4. Now the difference being, with trains, you can load all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 per. Okay. Now, I think, and not only can you do that, I think I have some high speeds, don't I? Yes, I do. I have some fast inserters. We're going to put fast inserters down. Now, you can load a train from both sides. You could do the same thing with the tanks. You could load it from either side, but it's only going to service 3 pumps. Now, we ran out of fast inserters, so we'll just have to make do. So we don't want... Actually, we don't want these guys waiting around forever for their stuff, right? We want it to already be up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. This will feed both sides of the train. right? And we may run out of undergrounds. We may not get this completely finished. We're probably going to run out of undergrounds. Yep, we ran out of undergrounds. Somehow, we still have an odd number of the goddamn things. Let's see if we have any more in here. Well, we have fast ones. No. Alright, we'll use the fast ones. Screw it. Just to finish this thing. Now, they'll pick off the back side of those undergrounds just as easily as they'll pick off the front side of them. Okay? So those will pick off of those will pick off of those. But now we need to have something feeding them. And we could split it out. But we want to have them not wait. We already want to have a full load up here. So if we put chests, and we'll just grab what we've got for now and get it all up here. Are you kidding me? Are we out of chests? No chest there, no chest there. Huh, okay, well. Let us make a chest. A chest. We are one chest shy. And eventually these will all be steel chests. Alright? So then we want to fill these chests so that it's ready and waiting for when this gets here. And we want to fill them equally. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. Right? And again, this is how I'm setting this up. Everybody's different. Everybody's going to set theirs up differently. This is what I'm doing for mine for right now. And there is no doubt in my military mind that someone is going to come back and tell me I am fucked up like a soup sandwich. And I am aware of that fact, and I don't care. This is me, this is how I do it. It works for me. Wasteful or not wasteful, it works for me for now. And I do a lot of for now in this game. So we're going to balance everything out into that, so we're bringing 2 over at a time just to kind of push our resources as fast as we can. So now that is all set up. Now one of the things that we did do is we kind of trapped ourselves in here with the tank, but we can get out. Alright, so now we have to power that. Alright, and for that we are going to use substations, because I can cover the majority of this just by using 2 substations. Now, maybe we'll just do it with 4 substations. 1, 2. Because now I got my pump over there, which is fine. But we can come from here to there, and now everything is powered. 4 substations, one big pole, because it'll reach, and all of that is powered. Now as soon as we start bringing in our sulfuric acid, this will be good to go. Now I'm not going to leave this train here because there's no fuel in it. I'm not setting up a fuel station here, because, or setting up to fuel the train here, because I will fuel the train at the other side. So now, we're just going to grab out our crap. We got a lot of extra, what you call it, that we didn't have before, stone that we picked up. So let us turn it into something smaller. Where is our landfill? Landfill, landfill, landfill. Why am I not seeing it? I know it's on here. Oh, there it is. Alright, so we'll turn that into landfill real quick. Alright, that gets rid of that. We'll also open up our book and put all our blueprints in our book, so that clears out a bunch. Alright. Alright, there we go. So we're going to do the exact same thing up at our coal. The only difference being we're not going to set up our fluid handling. So what we can do, there goes another wall, or another, yep, there goes a laser. So we definitely got to go over there and get things straightened out. Do we have something we can put down real quick while we make, alright, yeah, we can do this. Alright, we're going to take a blueprint. We're going to blueprint this. That way, we can take it up to our coal and do the same thing. Now the other thing we didn't do, we better do it while we're here, or we will not remember to do it. Alright, we're done with these. We need these. Alright, and we're done with these for now. We need these. Alright, and what these are train signals. When you put in a train signal, right, and again, these are directional based on what side of the street you put them on. If I put this here, before I put it there, you notice everything around here is this light blue color. It means everything in this is all one piece of the same railroad. So nothing is going to move if there's something in any of this. It won't let it, and nothing else will come in and what have you. So what chain signals and rail signals are used for is to break up your railroad into sections. So if I put one, let's say here, alright, now you notice there's two colors. This section and this section are different. If there's nothing on this section, this will be green. If it now has a train on it, it'll be red because there's a train there, it won't let another train into that section. So we break our railroad up that way. Now chain signals do the same thing, only they look forward to the next signal, right? And there's a lot of videos out there on how these work and what have you. I use a lot more rail signals than I do chain signals. But what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to put a train signal here. Alright? And that is going to cut this and this section apart. Then I'm going to put a train signal here and a train signal here. So what I have done is I have told this train system that this is a section, this is a section, and this is a section because it's connected on this end. If we go over to this end and I then put one here and anywhere on here, I'm gonna put it here, here, and here. Now This is its own section, this is its own section, and this is its own section. So if I have a train sitting here, another train's not going to come down here and try and get through. It'll go over here, and vice versa. So now, if I put a train down here, right, you'll notice that this train signal here is red, so I can't go down this anymore. But this is green, and this is green because I can go down that section of track. Alright? If I were to suddenly put a train here, for instance, those both turn green because there's already something in that section. This guy can't get out until this guy's gone. So that's how you're going to merge trains into your tracks, right? So if we put signals there, these guys won't run into one another, and then one signal will control that. And then as we lay this track out, we're not going to lay the track out right now. Right now we're going to go up here, and we're going to real quick visit our coal and do the same thing basically. We'll come back and we'll run. Well, you know what? No. Why? Let's do this. We'll do one all the way up there, and then you guys will see it done. And then we'll go and do repairs. Because we got to go do repairs. Alright. There's our ghost, we're ghost driving our train. Let's put this down so we can swap stuff out. Alright, so that we can clean, because we got to put the right things in the right places. We don't need these anymore. We don't need these anymore. We definitely don't need the raw materials. Let's take the train tracks out of here. Half of them. Take this stuff out of here and put it in our train. In our train. Alright? We don't need the pipes. We don't need that. We don't need those. Alright? We don't need our raw materials, our factories. We don't need our belts right now. We need the train tracks. Alright? What can we put in? Oh, okay. We'll swap that, because that doesn't need to be in there anyway. There we go. Now, I do believe we can do it from the train. We're going, or from the tank. Cannot reach. Why can't it reach? Bull hockey. You can only go so far, apparently. Alright. So then we're going to pull this out. And we're going to pull it out as a double line. Oh, water. Okay. So we're going to need... There are going to be places where we're going to need landfill. Well, we don't need the trains themselves right now. Alright? Right. Alright, that's the problem with these wetlands. Drag this out and up the coast. use enough at some point. And that's where you gotta get creative, is around the cliffs. Now this is coming down, so we want this to be this guy, because this is going to go two directions. This is going to go out this way to our coal, right? But it's also going to come down here to this. So we want this to join up there, right? And then we can split that. Let me turn this down. Oh, it's political season. Getting all kinds of unwanted phone calls. Alright, so that's going to come down. But the same thing, we're going to have one coming up. Right, and it's going to go back. We're going to leave a space between them so that we can put poles and stuff like that. Alright, and then that one's going to have a line coming up. And again, we're going to leave a space. Right? And we're going to connect to that. And that'll come down on this one and then go back on that one. Alright? So, get this pole out of our way. And hopefully we left ourselves enough space. Yeah, we just got to get these rocks. Oh, and there's water there, of course. And eventually, we're going to make blueprints for all of our railroads, which will allow us to just put a blueprint down and let the bots build them for us. But for right now, we don't have them built. Now, put back our poles. We got a jig one. We got dog leg here. Figures. We're going to be better off to just come down enough to meet that. Fighting with these one block lane changes is not what we want to do. Not my idea of fun. Not anybody's idea of fun. We'll just do it that way. There we go. So now that goes all the way up to the to the entrance to our little area over here. Figures on top of everything else. We run out of gas. Sorry. Fun date night. Oh well. And again, I am no expert on proper signaling, so I know I'm fucking this up. Alright, we go here, here, and here, right? And then that'll go that way. And then we're going to do the same thing coming back. We're out of signals, but we're here, here, here. We'll turn that into that. What I usually do a lot of times, because of all of this, I don't want anything going through here. I will signal all of this and just be done with it. But in this particular case, actually, I do believe, no, I thought it was, but anyway, we'll deal with this. Like I say, we're out of signals anyway. But we'll get this all signaled correctly and we'll come back and revisit it. But then that's going to go out to our coal, and then that's going to go back to our plant. Okay? So we can go out here and we can set up our coal. We'll go make those repairs off camera. To hell with it. There we go. That's why we have a tank. Right? Right. Okay. So same deal here, except that we don't have any chests. Because we're out of chests. But we can put the blueprint down once we find the right one. Put it down a little lower so that we have room to loop our train in and out. We'll let it do what it can. We're going to have to come back and replace some of this stuff with the right stuff. Right? But that will allow us we kind of want to go as straight as we possibly can. And this one, the only thing over here right now, too far, is our train, or is our coal. So I guess it really doesn't matter that we put a siding. If we, because these are single-use lines anyway. We want to go up because we want to miss this. because we can't go through the cliff. Dang it. Held it for too long. There we go. Alright, we totally missed, but that's okay. We'll clean this up. We should have come straight over with these and then done it from these, and we didn't. Because we're doofuses. But you guys get the idea. You know, we're not building rockets here yet. We're not you know, we're not performing rocket surgery here. Right? Dang it. If you hold it too long, you grab the other one. Alright, there it is. So then that, now we laid this down as a blueprint. We'll have to change the name on that sucker too. And we need a train station. Right, so train station. Right, so this will be coal pick up 1. Right? Ta-da! Now, because we got some of that stuff in our tank, it is going to pull it from the tank, apparently. That's kind of nice. I want my deconstruction. There it is. So we'll just have to bring the stuff over to finish that. In the meantime, we'll get rid of these tracks on our way. Oh, and we're going to want to get rid of these tracks because they're not going to match up with what we're bringing over from the other road. Because we didn't bring those from there. That's just what happened to be there. And once we have enough signals and enough stuff, these two loops are done. But they're laid out. We just got to bring the stuff over for them. And this is how you deal with getting resources from long ass distances away. You don't have to belt it in. There we go. All right. Woohoo. Now, word of warning. Do not walk on the railroad tracks. The trains will run you over and kill you. They will also run biters over and kill biters. I have seen people use trains as defense. You set them up and you let the trains run around your base. And that will kill the biters. So what we're going to do, we're going to do this off camera. We're going to make a loop around their base. And we're going to go fix their stuff. Yay. Make sure none of our stuff is damaged. And we're going to go fix our stuff. So, there it is. So, there you go, guys. We've got our supplies started for our uranium. We just have to set up the other end of our system and get it flowing. And then we can start processing it. So next video, we will deal with processing uranium ore and possibly start nuclear power. So alright guys, there you go. I will talk at you next time. Bye.